Kamen Rider Black!
What's up, you guys? Actually, Kamen Rider fan freaks coming at you today with another figure review. And I hope you guys enjoyed that little intro. Mainly just for Kamen Rider stuff. My buddy Nick over at the Monster Report helped me with that video editing. If you guys saw the short, that I posted a little bit like on Sunday this last week, you guys kind of got an idea of kind of what was coming, but now we have a little edit for an intro. Nick, thank you so much again. It turned out great. Sorry if my acting's cringe. I don't really care. I had fun doing it. And again, all that was kind of one take. So I want to say I did a pretty good job. So anyway, yes. So special intro for Kamen Rider reviews and Kamen Rider videos and stuff. That way I got a little bit of everything. I got an intro for Masters of the Universe stuff. I got an intro for Godzilla and, Kaiju stuff. Now I got an intro for Kamen Rider stuff that's, special. So hope you guys enjoy it. Put down in the comments what you think. And, thank you again for your support. And again, that is a shout out to Nick Adams from the Monster Report. He made that happen. He worked his mastery of video editing magic, and he did a fantastic job. So again, today we got a double whammy of a review for you. We got a double Kamen Rider review. Today I'm going to be reviewing the movie monster series Black Lotus Kaijin from Black Sun. And then I also have the Bandai Standard Figure Rise model kit, Kamen Rider Kuuga in his Pegasus form. I figured I'd bundle these two into one figure review, not only because Nick made the thumbnail that way, but then it's also, this is going to be kind of a really basic figure to go over, and then we have Kuuga, which is going to be a little bit more extensive. And of course, for the Kamen Rider reviews, I got to have my fingerless Kamen Rider Black Cujo type gloves for these reviews, just to also give it that little bit of a special, chef's kiss on the top of things. So let's dive right into this and check out this movie monster series figure. One thing I will say about this movie monster series figure, he doesn't like to stand on his own. That is one thing that does kind of stink, and I'll get a little more extensive here in a minute. But take a look at the tag. Here's the tag. This is what Kamen Rider Black Sun looks like pretty much before he becomes the actual Kamen Rider. This is what they call a kaijin in the show. And if you want a very brief description on what a kaijin is, again, Black Sun is free to watch. If you have Amazon Prime, it's on there. It's free to watch. Check it out. It's only 10 episodes long. But my definition of a kaijin, for all my fellow Guyver fans out there, a kaijin is basically a zoonoid. All right. So, open it up. You have all your legal jargon, mumbo jumbo on the back. Kamen Rider Black Sun, movie monster series. Pretty basic standard tag. Diving right on into this figure with paint applications. Of course, Kamen Rider Black Sun, he's mainly going to be black all the way throughout. He has a little bit of a bone ivory, color up here for the mouth area. His eyes are kind of like a brown with a little bit of a gloss to them to give them that shine. And another thing I really like about this figure is this teal color that they have just on the sides of the face. A little bit more of it. It's a little heavier on this side than it is on the opposite side, but still present. And then the only other areas you get it in are right along the knees. But again, when the light hits it just right, it looks great, and it's like an actual little surprise. I didn't expect this color to be on this figure, but it is. Again, Bandai, we know you can do paint. We know you can do sculpts. Give us 10 out of 10 every time. But black for the overall figure, besides the teal, a little bit of brown, bone ivory, and then of course his Kamen Rider transformation driver down here, his belt. Very nice, mechanical, like teal and then silver, red, a little bit of gold, and just looks great. But otherwise, pretty basic for color all the way around. Detail-wise, look at the figure. all the fine details, you know, from the spikes on his forearms, you know, to his pads over his muscles, all of this detail in the chest, abdomen, even on his belt here, just all that mechanical detail looks really nice. Spikes on the knees, two-toed feet. You know, on the back here, these are like little extra grasshopper appendage arms. Very, very nicely well done and detailed. Again, face, head, all the armor plating, you know, going down the top part here. His little antennas and the little rings etched in and whatnot. Just really, really good figure. Articulation on this guy, his arms can move up and down, and then he has a waist swivel. That's it. Nothing in the legs, nothing in the head. And just for a quick comparison, here is the Kamen Rider Black Sun movie monster series figure that I did a review on a while back. He was going to prove me wrong about standing better, but as you can see, you see how Black Sun has a little bit, and now he's going to start falling, I don't know why, of a wider stance, and then this guy's legs are more close together. That's what causes him to fall back, plus he has these on his backside that weigh him down. But if he had a wider of a stance, which now I'm going to be knocking over both of them, as you can see, he stands for just a little bit better until his legs close back up together. But here's your comparison between the two. So again, here's what he looks like when he just transforms into like his kaijin form. And then of course here is the rider form. So overall, two really great figures. And again, I originally wasn't going to pick this one up, but a movie monster series for $12 on Amazon, I don't think you can really beat that. Great, great price. And that about does it for the first review in this video. Now we have the Figure Rise Standard Kamen Rider Kuuga in his Pegasus form. Now, the first thing I will say about this figure, I'm not going to take his bowcaster gun out of his hand because that's a whole process. It just doesn't slide in and out. Because it's a model kit, you have to like take apart his hand and take the gun out that way and then reassemble the hand. That is the downside to kind of model kits over like SH Figure Arts figures and stuff like that. But I do want to say sometimes model kits, again, model kits and like SH Figure Arts type figures and stuff like that, they all have their pros and cons. I do like the building experience, you know, like you basically building your figure, and that is the cool part about the model kits that is enjoyable. And from my experience putting together the Gundam kits and stuff like that, I can put together a kit like this in just about 2 hours, if not a little under 2 hours. So it doesn't take me long to throw these kits together. But, so I'm going to leave his gun in his hand, but we're going to go over all the main points here. And we're going to start with color, of course, because it's not really paint, because model kits, they're all colored plastic runners that you're clipping all these pieces off of. So it's not paint. It is legitimately the color of the plastic. So Kamen Rider Kuuga, for those that don't know, he can morph into different forms of himself to adapt to whatever bad guy he's fighting. So his green form here, the Pegasus form, he can grab a hold of a gun or some sort of firearm, and it itself changes into his own special type gun. And in this form, he has like precision, like eyesight. So he can like track enemies that are moving fast or enemies that are like invisible or flying or whatnot. And so he's able to adapt and fight those types of enemies better and succeed at winning the fight in this form. So again, color of the plastic, you have blacks, golds, silvers, greens, just really, really nice color all the way throughout. You know, his eyes on his helmet are a translucent plastic, and you put on a silver decal sticker on the head sculpt itself, and then again that helps give it its reflectiveness. And just the Kamen Rider Kuuga design in general is just really cool. It's really clean, it's basic, and it's just an awesome design. Again, I like the horns you know, versus the classic antenna for Kamen Rider. Again, it kind of gives Kuuga his own kind of feel and look. But again, you have nice greens, blacks, silver for the mouth, golds. You know, this here, this gem in the middle of his head is like a decal sticker. You know, green for the chest. Again, you got silvers. All of these colors on the belt down in here are all decals and whatnot. You know, these greens on his forearms, wrists and stuff, even on the tops of his hands, those are decal stickers. But again, just really, really solid color separation throughout. No real problems. Every Kamen Rider Kuuga model kit comes with a different color fire effect piece for his foot, because when he does his rider kick, you know, depending on what color he is, this changes color. So he's got green for green, purple for purple, you know, red for red, and, you know, so on and so forth, blue for blue, because Kamen Rider Kuuga is basically every color of the rainbow. He's got red. Well, actually, the way his colors go is white, red, and then I want to say the next one after that he gets is blue, which is his dragon form, which I've yet to get the model kit for that. Then he goes Pegasus, green. Then he has Titan, which is purple, and then his ultimate form, which is black. So, all different kinds of colors that Kamen Rider Kuuga can change into. You know, same thing with the gun. Really nice color separation. Golds, blacks, greens. You know, again, a lot of that is decal sticker, but just looks good. Looks good and clean all the way around. As far as detail goes, again, the detail in the head sculpt, again, I like the way the eyes look. His eyes are just awesome. The mouthpiece, very nicely well done. You get all of the like ancient symbols and everything etched into this plastic mold, which looks really, really cool. All the detailing in the chest, again, the arms. He comes with all different kinds of hands, but I didn't bring them out because, again, they're open hands, chopping hands, fist hands, you know. I just kind of have him with hands that I want to say look good with the way I have him posed. All the detail in the belt. Again, you have a translucent green plastic piece in there, and then you can see kind of the working innards and everything. But just all the detail in the belt looks really, really good. You know, his little kneecap armor coverings, his little ankle gauntlets, just everything. You know, again, the bowcaster gun, you have all that same etching of all those symbols and everything in there, which look really, really good. But just really good detail around. I mean, smooth, clean, nothing too, you know, over crazy with detail, but really just to the point, and just, it looks clean and it looks good. Articulation for Kuuga, again, he has basically all the same articulation as like an SH Figure Arts, just in model kit form, which in my opinion is actually a little bit better, because with my experience with the model kits, is the joints feel more solid. They feel more solid. That's the only word I can use to describe. They don't feel loose. You know, he can look up, he can look down quite far. You know, you can tilt, you can turn his head. You know, articulation at the shoulders. He does have a bicep swivel in there. Elbow joints. Wrists are on a ball joint, so you get all types of rotation through there. He does have an ab crunch, as well as you can twist. Legs can kick forward. You can kick backward ever so far. It does run into like his butt cheeks of the mold there, so you can only get that about far of kind of like a back step. Double jointed knees, very, very nice. Ankles, you can get nice rotations. You can get pivots out of them, which is good. You can bend them up, down, and he has toe articulation as well. So really, really, really good, solid articulation for Kuuga here. Again, you're looking at about the same amount of articulation as an SH Figure Arts, but, you know, just in a model kit type form, which again, the joints feel more solid. They feel not stiff to where they feel like they're going to break or snap, but they're just really put together nicely. Even his gun has articulation. Again, he has a bowcaster gun, so these kind of like fold back when he pulls it back. And then this little piece here also presses in and then presses outwards. So again, it's like when he primes it, these things can pull, these parts of the gun here can pull back, and then when he fires it, you can fold them back out like so. And again, I kind of just have him in that pose like he's just releasing it. You know, that's what this hand looks good for. And then, you know, you kind of have him primed, looking up, you know, shooting somebody out of the sky, and just boom, you know. As far as scaling and size goes, yeah, he'll size in well with anything in your 6-inch scale. Again, just because I have him right here. You know, anything Bandai, even SH Figure Arts and other, you know, Kamen Rider model kits and stuff like that, he will size in well with. So, there is that. So without further ado, everybody, we are Kamen Rider fan freaks. Hope you enjoyed today's review, double Kamen Rider review. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Don't forget to atomic blast that like button, atomic blast that notification bell. Don't forget to like and follow Godzilla Fan Freaks over on Facebook and Instagram. And that about sums it up, everybody. Without further ado, we are Godzilla Fan Freaks, but also Kamen Rider Fan Freaks. Hope you enjoyed today's video, and we will see you in the next review. Thank you for watching.